Hello guys, MonkeyBot here, and now we're going to be talking about the final legendary lords that will be coming in the Thrones of Decay DLC. So we've already spoken about the Empire, we've spoken about Nurgle, and now it's finally time to talk about the Dwarfs. So I had to do a little bit of digging for this one, because the Dwarfs is the one that doesn't really fit into the Elspeth and Tamacon story. So I had to do a little bit of research to see who would fit in perfectly, and I think I've come up with the perfect candidate. And that dwarf would be none other than Malakai Makaisson. So the reason I went with Malakai is when I looked up his wiki, he actually works in Nuln. He is a teacher at the Nuln Gunnery School, which fits very well into this. He could easily help fight against the war against Tamacon. And I think that's how his campaign is going to play out. I think he's going to have some mechanics that will give him the most powerful war machines there are to help him in the defense of Nuln. So before we get into the video, I just want to make a quick announcement. I am currently, at the time of this recording, I am 3 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. My channel growth has been extortionate in the last few months, and I really want to thank everyone that's subscribed so far. So if you have been enjoying my content, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. That being said, let's get straight into Malakai's start location. So if you watched my Empire prediction video, you already know what I'm going to say here. But I think the Malakai should start in Karak-Azorn. This would be a perfect location for him. I only think there's 2 locations left where Dwarf Legendary Lords can go. One would be in Karak-Azorn, and the other one will be up in the north, in the Norse Dwarf area with Karak-Drak. But I think this one would suit him much better, especially with the Tamacon invasion happening. So Tamacon will obviously go through the mountains and fight his way down the Mountains of Morn, running into Malakai, running into Elspeth, and then he'll cross over here. So it puts him in a perfect position to get in the way of his path to stop him attacking Nuln. So this would give you an early enemy with the Ogre Kingdoms here. So this will be your starting enemy here. You would take this province for yourself, and then you could either decide to push up north so you can ally up with Elspeth here. I do think that Malakai and Elspeth should start off with an alliance very similar to Malekith and Malus Darkblade, how they start off with a military alliance. This way, if Grimgor was to declare war on Elspeth or any of the Chaos Dwarfs, or any of the many enemies surrounding Elspeth, which I think would start up here, it would actually give an incentive for Malakai to push up north and help Elspeth out before she crumbles and dies. So this would be honestly a very good start location for him. I think it's very well suited and very needed for a a regular dwarf to move out of the World's Edge Mountains and start putting him somewhere a bit more interesting. And there's a lot of trade resources around here. It's a very good, profitable location, and I think it would be a very interesting start location for him. Now, let's start talking about his mechanics. So I do think that Malakai will be involved in the Tamacon storyline. It does make sense considering he is the teacher at the Gunnery School in Nuln. So I really hope that he is there to help the defense of Nuln in his very own unique way. I do hope that the Legendary Lords do all come together and be part of the same story. It was very disappointing in Shadows of Change where you had 3 good Legendary Lords that are just out there doing their own thing, having nothing to do with each other, instead of having Cathey and Kislev come together to help fight the Changeling and stop him doing his evil schemes. So I wish they go back to that route where they are part of the same story and they are working together or working against each other to help achieve their certain goals. So I think that Malakai is going to be involved in that. He's going to have a very similar timer, the same to Nuln, but instead of slowing down Tamacon and weakening his armies, what he's actually going to do is buff up his own war machines. I think he's going to have something very similar to the Forbidden Workshop that Clan Squire has, where he can buy upgrades for certain units. But I think, unlike the Forbidden Workshop, that these upgrades are unique to an individual unit. So let's say that I buy an upgrade here for flaming ammo for grudge throwers. I can then place that upgrade on an individual grudge thrower, and then this will give that grudge thrower fire damage. Maybe it will have like a fire vortex when it lands, very similar to the Chaos Dwarf missile spell, and then it maybe does damage over time. Or maybe I can get a poison one which poisons the enemy and slows them down. or some sort of frostbite, which slows them down even more. You know, I can get a variety of different upgrades to do this. Maybe for the Thunderers, I can give them snipers, I can give them shotguns, and I can give them just different ammo types or different weapon types. And I can get this singular upgrade and place it on a singular unit as a one-time purchase, so I don't have to have all of my Thunderers being snipers. I can have a few snipers, a few shotguns, and a few regular Thunderers, maybe with some other, maybe magical ammo, for example, to go through the physical resistance of the Nurgle demons. So I think that will be a very good way for him to start. He is very well known to tinker with lots of different weapon types and sort of war machines, so I think that will be a very good, interesting thing for him to have. Now, moving on to a second mechanic, which I think is going to be a lot more interesting. So we know that Malakai has a very unique Thunder Barge, and I think that should be implemented into one of his mechanics. And it should be implemented very similar to the Vampire Coast ship buildings. I do think the Thunder Barge should also be a unique unit, maybe a basic one with like a Hellstorm rocket battery kind of thing, or organ guns mounted on top of the Thunder Barge as a unit that everyone can recruit. But I do think that Malakai should have his very unique one. I do think that it should start off very basic, so it will be automatically attached to the army, whether Malakai is alive or not. Whether he's mounted on top of this Thunder Barge or on foot, I would rather him be on foot, but I should think I do think he should have the option to mount it as well. I think it should be quite flexible there, but it will be very disappointing if you can't have Malakai on foot also shooting down his pistols and being like an unbreakable war machine in itself, essentially. But I think the Thunder Barge should start off very basic. It should just be a basic balloon that has Thunderers on top shooting down at the enemy, very similar to the basic balloon that Cathey has. And then you can upgrade it to add war machines, so you can add flame cannons, you can add like Hellstorm rocket batteries, organ guns, cannons. You can upgrade this to have a vast amount of war machines all mounted on it at the same time, so when you come up against it, you are literally being destroyed by death, basically. Like, it's just a rain of fire. Add miniguns to it, add snipers to it, like add whatever you want. Like, I think this thing should become a monster house of like a war machine. I do think it should also give like passive buffs, so maybe it can give like army-wide buffs to have immune to psychology. Maybe you can upgrade it even further to become unbreakable. Maybe the entire army is unbreakable. This is going to sound extremely overpowered, and it probably is, but I think it would be so cool to have like the entire army unbreakable. This beast of a machine just firing down rockets on things. And that will probably also be unbreakable, because if Malakai is on it, it's going to be unbreakable. It's a Slayer unit. And then I also think that it should have the regular buffs that the shipbuildings have. So obviously you can get campaign movement range, you can get casualty replenishment and upkeep, and you will be able to have extra growth to it. But I don't think it should be called growth. It will probably be like, I don't know, materials to upgrade it or something like that. Maybe you have like a unique resource that you collect at the top. And then you can use that unique resource to upgrade your Thunder Barge even further. And also on top of that, I think you should have like army-wide abilities. So maybe you can throw out a bombardment spell somewhere, or even go as far as to have another nuke. I don't know if you want to have another Clan Squire nuke, or maybe a weakened version of that. But you should have like bombardment spells and things like that when this Thunder Barge has been upgraded to the point where you can unlock those abilities. Yes, I do think it will be very powerful. I do think you should be unique to Malakai. I think all of his other lords within his faction shouldn't have access to this. They should just be basic lords that still have access to the Forbidden Workshop mechanic, where you can put unique upgrades to like your Thunder Barges, or sorry, your Thunderers, your Grudge Throwers and things like that. You can upgrade them to have special ammo types or special weapon types, but I think the Thunder Barge upgrade system itself should be unique to Malakai. So yeah, that's going to be it for his mechanics, and I think that yes, you will upgrade this to the point where it's as powerful as possible to defend your defend Nuln with the Empire from Tamacon. So that's kind of like his mechanic. Just get the Thunder Barge as strong as possible, ready to attack the Nurgle faction against with the defense of Nuln. Anyway, moving on to the rework side of things, I don't think there's too many things that the dwarfs want or need, but I think there's a couple of little quality of life things that they could have. So let's move on to that. Now, there's only one mechanic which I can think about adding to the dwarfs, because I think the dwarfs are actually not in a bad place. I do really like the technology tree. I think it's a very good technology tree. It's very big, very vast, and gives a lot of powerful buffs throughout the technology tree. Don't change it. I think it's very good. I think the Great Book of Grudges is also very good. It should have an impact on your campaign. Like, they are dwarfs, they do get grudgy, and they do need to go out and deal with those grudges. So I think it's actually very good how it's implemented already, and I think it should stay. But I do kind of want to add a mechanic to them. I think they should have some sort of deeper mine mechanic, and I think it should be very similar to the Skaven Undercities or the Pirate Coves, things like that. We can have like a small extra city within your actual cities, but I think it should stay within your actual your own regions, so it shouldn't be enemy regions. Maybe you can do it with other dwarfs, for example, if you can pay a dwarf to build a mine, or if they build their own mines in there, you should be able to access those. But I think that you should have like a deeper mine mechanic where you can like increase the amount of resources you're mining, and you can use it as some sort of teleportation system. Only short range teleportation. I don't think it should be crazy. I think it should only be from province to province. So let's say you build a deeper mine here in Kazakurak, and then you also want to jump to Black Crag down here, which also has a deeper mine in there. You can teleport from there to there within a singular turn. This will help you get through the mountains much quicker, and get your armies into a place that you need to defend. It's not going to be good for attacking. So I think attacking, you're still going to have to go through the mountains, but to defend your own territory, which is very important for the dwarfs. They are a very defensive race, and you need to get your armies to a certain location at certain points in your campaign, so you could teleport your armies very quickly. So I could also maybe teleport over to here to Zufbar. I could also teleport up here to Grom Peak, but I will not. Or maybe I could actually, yeah, I might actually be able to teleport over here to Mount Gumbad. But I will not be able to teleport down here, for example. I can't just teleport to Carrick 8 Peaks. I think it should only be limited to the provinces surrounding you. So yes, I think you should also get buffs through this, maybe some growth, extra trade resources, maybe mining some oath gold in there as well. Very simple mechanic, but I think it would actually benefit the dwarfs very well. One mechanic I didn't talk about is the forge. Again, I think the forge is fine. I don't think there's any problem to that. There are some very powerful items in here that you can obviously craft and give to your lords. I think it's absolutely fine. Maybe some unit modifications, like minor unit modifications that you can have from the forge, although there are some already, I guess. Character runes, banners. Yeah, you've got your banners here, which can add explosive damage. So actually, that's already in the game, so what am I talking about? But I think it's very good the way it is. And I don't think the dwarfs really need any changes. I think they're already really good. Just like some sort of underway stance or underway, undercity, deeper mine mechanic. And I think there would actually be a lot more interesting. Just simple change like that. Give them something that they've already made to other factions. And just leave the dwarfs the way they are. I already think they're a very good, powerful factions. They just need a few more units, little tweaking here and there, but nothing too crazy. And that's going to be it for the dwarfs. Again, I think Malakai is going to be a great addition to the dwarfs roster. The units that he's going to bring, he's obviously going to bring a load more units as well. So many war machines, maybe different weapon types. I think it'll be a very good addition for the dwarfs. And adding that little deeper mine mechanic to teleport your units around, just short distance, I think would be a very helpful change for the dwarfs. And much welcome, I think. But that's going to be it for this video. Please, again, I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. Please do like and subscribe if you have been enjoying my content. And feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below on your opinions on what you think the dwarf should get. Have I missed something? What sort of thing are you looking for? Do you like the mechanics that I suggested? Do you like his start position? Do you think he should go somewhere else? Please feel free and start a conversation down in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't checked out my achievement hunting series, I've completed 3 races now. So that's the Lizardmen, the Empire, and Kislev. They are all in playlists on my channel if you want to go check out that. I'm also doing a vote right now for the next Skaven Legendary Lord that I'm going to be playing. So I'm going to be getting the Legendary Achievement run by getting Long victory there. At the moment, Clan Squire is winning, so it's likely that I'm going to be playing him. But if you want a different Legendary Lord, please go throw your vote down that way. And the episode should be out tomorrow, in about 24 hours from when this video is released. So until then, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.